You are listening to KSG Podcast. This is a short, crisp, concise, exam oriented editorial for civil services aspirants. In this podcast, we are going to talk about biofortified food, and the source is Ashok Gulati's article for the Indian Express. On 15th of August 2021, Prime Minister addressed the nation from the ramparts of the Red Fort to mark India's 75th Independence Day. Besides other big announcements, he emphasized the need to ensure portion, that is, nutrition, to the country's women and children. PM announced that by 2024, rice provided to the poor under any government scheme, PDS, midday meal, Anganwadi, will be fortified. It is a bold decision leveraging science to attack the complex challenge of malnutrition, particularly for low income and vulnerable sections of the society who cannot afford balanced, diversified diets, can be a good intervention. We presume that the nutrition experts of the Indian Council of Medical Research, that is ICMR, have been consulted in arriving at the decision. Scientists at the Indian Council of Agricultural Research have been developing biofortified crops in India with a view to eradicate malnutrition amongst the poor sections of the society. As per the Indian Council of Agricultural Research or ICAR website, they had developed 21 varieties of biofortified staples, including wheat, rice, maize, millets, mustard, and groundnut by 2019 to 2020. These biofortified crops have 1.5 to 3 times higher levels of protein, vitamins, minerals, and amino acids compared to traditional varieties. It's worth noting that these varieties are not genetically modified. They have been developed through conventional crop breeding techniques by our own scientists. A research team led by Monica Garg at the National Agri-Food Biotechnology Institute in Mohali has also developed biofortified colored wheat that is rich in zinc and anthocyanins. Farmers from Punjab and Haryana have been roped in to multiply the production of this wheat variety. This points towards the beginning of a new journey from food security to nutritional security. The Harvest Plus program of the Consultative Group of International Agricultural Research, that is CGIAR, also deserves special mention here as they have been working closely with ICAR, state agricultural universities, the international centers of CGIAR, seed companies, and farmer organizations to accelerate production and improve the access of the poor in India to iron rich pearl millet and zinc rich wheat. Globally, more than 40 countries have released biofortified crops benefiting over 48 million people. The PM's strong commitment towards a malnutrition free India, Kuposhan Mukt Bharat, is crucial as 15.3% of the country's population is undernourished, and India has the highest proportion of stunted, that is 30%, and wasted children, that is 17.3%, below 5 years of age, as per the FAO's recent publication. The State of Food Security and Nutrition in the World 2021. These figures indicate that India is at a critical juncture with respect to nutritional security and will not be able to achieve the UN Sustainable Development Goal, that is SDG, of eliminating all forms of malnutrition by 2030 in the business as usual scenario. However, access to nutritious food is only one of the determinants of nutrition. Other factors like poor access to safe drinking water and sanitation, especially toilets, low levels of immunization and education, especially of women, contribute equally to this dismal situation. In a country where about 50% of the rural population does not have safe and adequate drinking water within premises, where about 15% of schools still lack access to basic infrastructure, that is, electricity, drinking water, and sanitation, and where the average annual school dropout rate at the secondary level, that is, class 9 to 10th, is still 18%. One cannot tackle the multidimensional problem of malnutrition just by biofortification. It must be recognized that in the long run, India needs a multi pronged approach to eliminate the root cause of this complex problem. That approach should include the following initiatives. First, there is a direct correlation between mothers' education and the well being of children. Children with mothers who have no education have the least diversified diets and suffer from stunting and wasting and are anemic. Notwithstanding considerable efforts by the government to improve female literacy, only 12.5% women were found to have completed school education in 2018, according to the Sample Registration System survey. Hence, targeted programs for improving the educational status of girls and reducing the school dropout rates, particularly at the secondary and higher educational levels, need to be promoted. Also, childcare knowledge and information on holistic nourishment should be compulsorily included in the school curriculum. This will improve mothers' knowledge regarding colostrum, continued breastfeeding, diarrhea prevention, and treatment using oral rehydration solution, child immunization, and family planning. Innovative strategies that integrate education and nutrition programs hold great importance in combating the malnutrition problem. The Global Nutrition Report 2014 estimates that every dollar invested in a proven nutrition program offer benefits worth $16. Second, innovations in biofortified food can alleviate malnutrition only when they are scaled up with supporting policies. This would require increasing expenditure on agri R&D and incentivizing farmers by linking their produce to lucrative markets through sustainable value chains and distribution channels. This will generate remunerative income for farmers and fuel the scaling up of the unfolding technology. The government can also rope in the private sector to create a market segment for premium quality biofortified foods to cater to high end consumers. For instance, trusts run by the Tata Group are supporting different states to initiate fortification of milk with vitamin A and D. Other private dairies should also be encouraged to scale up milk fortification across the country. Third, a national awareness drive on the lines of the salt iodization program launched by the government in 1962 to replace ordinary salt with iodized salt can play an important role at the individual and community levels to achieve the desired goals of portion for all. Branding, awareness campaigns, social and behavioral change initiatives such as community level counseling, dialogue, media engagement, and advocacy, especially amongst the marginalized communities, can promote consumption of locally available, nutrient dense, affordable foods among the poor children. But equally important is grandma's recipe of diversified diets. We should always keep that in mind. That's all for this podcast. Thank you so much for listening. To join KSG India courses and to crack the IELTS exam, visit ksgindia.com. You can also get a PDF of this podcast on ksgindia.com.